We think that so much has changed in what we do, but the reality is we're still asking ourselves the same questions that we have been for many, many years. And the objective that we have for our work still remains pretty similar, which is to make our brands pop, to surface our brands and show them to the world, so hopefully they warm to them, and then when they're stood in the aisle or online or wherever that they choose us. So I had a bunch of messages about what it means to be a culturally relevant brand today, and how that's evolved, and some pointers as to what I think Airbnb has done well to create that cultural relevance. And a lot of that comes down to it being very secure in why it exists, and therefore it's very easy for us to talk about things that are related to why we exist, because it's undeniable that's what our mission is, and we express that through everything that we do and say, whether it's on our product or through our marketing. So that was the first thing. The second was my concern as a part of this industry, and someone who's been in this industry for a quarter of a century, that we navel gaze so much, and we talk about the plumbing and the infrastructure of marketing for not even hours, for like weeks and months and months. And the plumbing matters, but we'll fix that. My fear is that by the time we fixed it, all the smart creative people who actually bring our brands to life have disappeared, because they don't want to work in a plumbing industry, they don't want to work in a pure tech industry. So, marketing is the perfect blend of art and science, and I fear we're just talking too much about the science right now, and we've forgotten about the art, and we've got to bring the art back, we've got to bring the creativity back. And I guess the final thing I spoke about, which has been a common theme amongst a number of people who've spoken, is how I guess some of that navel gazing, where we talk about our own internal problems, whether it's our structure or ownership or responsibility or accountability, that we forget that we're here to build that bridge between a company and its products and the people who we want to have a relationship with, and ultimately, people who become our customers. No one talks about that anymore. No one talks about what's interesting about human behavior and how brands can replicate and serve new human behavior. We don't talk about anything like that. We talk about plumbing and problems. So let's talk about people and art. That's what I want us to do. I think every company needs to put a mirror in front of it and say, why do we exist? What are we here to do? Is there a reason for me to be here? And to really double down on what that reason to exist is. And I think Unilever did an amazing job on it when it did that. And I remember Keith and Mark talking about going to the old sort of back rooms of Unilever and digging out some of the original thoughts from Lord Leverhulme and the others. And Unilever reminded itself of why it existed, of why it served a purpose in the world. And from that's a platform of strength. And when you have a platform of strength, which is irrefutable, everything's up. You're not scratching around trying to pretend that you have a reason to exist, or just latch on to what the latest thing is that people seem to care about in the world and saying, oh yeah, that's what we stand for. It's hardwired into you. It's not fabricated, and it's not painted on the top. Compartmentalize the plumbing. Let someone go and deal with that. Lock them in a room. Tell them, come out when you've done it. In the meantime, I would have my marketing team get up from their desk, find out where they can go and speak to one of their customers, the people who they serve, go and have a chat with them. Next thing I do, I'd come back and I would say, how can we serve that? What's the story we want to tell? How do we represent what it is that we've got in a way that's stimulating and mindful to what those people need?